If I could, for a few moments, Mr. President, I'd like to shift gears and speak on another subject. If I came to you today, Mr. President, and told you that we had received a job application from somebody to work for the government, and you and I looked at her job application and we saw that she had graduated from Harvard Law School. If we looked at her job application, we saw that she'd worked for a presidential campaign. If we saw that she had practiced law in the private sector. If we noticed from her resume that she'd actually worked as a counsel, as a lawyer in the White House. If we saw that she had clerked for a Supreme Court justice, Justice Anthony Kennedy. Each justice of the United States, I think, has 4 law clerks every year. I don't know how many tens of thousands of lawyers and law students apply. But to be chosen is one of the highest honors you can receive as a young lawyer. If I told you this person who applied for a job in government used to work at the Department of Justice as Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General in the Office of Legal Policy. If I told you that she had also worked for one of the most prestigious law firms in the country, Wilmer Cutler, Pickering, Hale, and Dorr. I remember them as Wilmer Cutler, but they've changed their name since then. They've been around forever. If I told you all those things, Mr. President, I think any reasonable person would say, wow, let's hire her immediately. Let's do it before she finds another position. Well, that person has applied for a job in government, Mr. President. Her name is Rachel Brand, and she has been nominated by President Trump to be Associate Attorney General. That's a position that is vitally important within the Department of Justice. It's responsible for the oversight of the Civil Division, the Civil Rights Division, the Office on Violence Against Women, and many other important components of the Department of Justice. I think no matter what political party you happen to be in, or whatever your political persuasion, we can all agree that right now it is particularly important not only to have a Department of Justice that is fully staffed, but to have it fully staffed with extraordinarily qualified people that every American can look at and go, wow, is she qualified? I'm so pleased she's working for federal government and that my tax dollars are being well spent. Mrs. Brand has broad experience, as I indicated, both within the Department of Justice and in the private sector. As I indicated, I'm going to say it again, she worked for Justice Anthony Kennedy on the United States Supreme Court. Wow, what an honor. She served as Assistant Attorney General under President George Bush. She's been in private practice, as I indicated. She's been Chief Counsel for Regulatory Litigation in the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and I could go on and on and on. I fully support Mrs. Brand's nomination. I sit on the Justice Committee, the committee of the Senate that vetted her. She's highly respected, she's whip smart, she's well qualified, and she is fully prepared to hit the ground running. And that is exactly what we need. Thank you, Mr. President.